Okay. There we go. Warm welcome to a webinar for climate justice hosted by Ende Gelände Sweden. And we are going to be discussing and answering all your questions about the preparation to join the Ende Gelände mobilization happening in November. For those of you new to this, Ende Gelände is a mass action taking place and is highlighting what needs to be done to stop climate change, which is keep hitting in the ground for climate justice, for a just transition, and for action, not words. And that's what we need to act for. And from the Swedish side, we are going to be working on mobilizing, getting a bus down. And in order to do so, it's a massive, massive mobilization, a lot of work that needs to be done. And we're here to share the work that's happened and how you can plug into that movement. Fortunately, my name is Carl, and fortunately, you won't have to listen to me all the time. With me, we have a couple of different representatives who have been working with this and will share their thoughts. Johannes, tell us who you are and what you're going to be working with.
Hey, I'm Johannes. I'm already down in Cologne to prepare the Ende Gelände action. And I'm sending live from a place in Cologne, the AZ, the Autonomous Center, where we have the final party. So I'll tell you all there's to know about the timetable of Ende Gelände, what is happening when, what you need to know, what you need to bring, and so on.
Great, thank you very much. And once we get there, there's a large mobilization, thousands of people, but first we have to get there. And in order to do so, we have a bus leaving from Sweden. Emily, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, hello, my name is Emily, and I'm right now in Lund in Sweden. And like Carl said, we are going to have a bus from Sweden who will go from Stockholm down to Helsingborg and then later down to Ende Gelände, and it's going to be great. So more about that later.
Great, thank you very much. But last but not least, we can't just have mobilization, we have to prepare ourselves as well. And that's where Julia comes in. Julia, who are you and what you're going to talk about?
Yes, hello, my name is Julia, and I'm part of the Trainer Collective and Climate Justice Program. And we will be holding trainings in Sweden, and also I will talk about the affinity groups and how you will prepare yourself for the action.
Great. So first and foremost, what's important to remember is that this is about taking action. Once again, this November, politicians will gather in Bonn for, I think it's COP23, the 23rd year of discussions, to talk about the Paris Agreement and how to implement it. And a lot of politicians are getting credit and bonus points because they're standing up for the Paris Agreement and they're against Trump because he's withdrawn, and that's horrible. But the truth of the matter is the Paris Agreement is not enough. We need to do more. We need to have accountability for our politicians' words and turn it into action. And the action is keeping fossil fuels in the ground. And in order to do this, this massive mobilization of grassroots organizations and individuals are taking a stand, putting their bodies on the line to stop climate change by shutting down the lignite coal mines, which are only 50 kilometers away from Bonn. These are the largest emitters in Europe. And it's important to note that this is not a professional NGO or a large group that is funded and that's doing this. These are grassroots organizations, individuals like us that want to make a difference. Here from Ende Gelände Sweden, we are not a large NGO. We are just people who've been before, who have a bit of realized the opportunity and the wonderful experience that this is and want to share it with others. And to do that, we all need to help out, and this is self-organized in the best possible way. So talking about the action, Johannes, do you want to talk us through that?
Yes, I do. So there is a plan. It's a lot of things are happening throughout the COP time, and a lot of NGOs and a lot of organizations are coming, and we're just part of a bigger scheme of actions and the large choreography. But we do our thing, and we do our thing starting in Bonn and going to the mines as well. The mines, as Carl already said, are 50 kilometers away from it. So we ask everybody to come to Bonn already on Friday at 5 p.m. in the afternoon for plenaries. These plenaries are quite important, so everybody gets on the same page, knows what's happening, knows what we need to do. And the plenaries will be held in English, so everybody can understand them. They'll be in a circus tent in the middle of Bonn. And then overnight, we'll organize sleeping places in Bonn. There's going to be more information about this, but it's going through the homepage of Ende Gelände. They'll be organized sleeping places for everybody in Bonn, either in gyms or people's homes or stuff like this. And I can also organize it for groups to collectively. And then on Saturday, we'll start from 9 p.m. in the morning and do preparations and find affinity groups and have trainings again if we need to, and sort the materials. Maybe you've heard about the straw bags or seen the white suits, and we have to color them and collect them. And it's always a little it's a little chaotic, but it's very exciting, and we're all going to be in an exciting mood, and it's going to be a great day. And at 5 p.m. in the afternoon on Saturday, we'll have a final action plenary where we'll sort out who's going where and who's going with whom, and things become very clearly. During the day on Saturday, there's a big demonstration of NGOs in Lund, and you can go there if you want to. But we ask you, especially if you haven't been to an action before, to take this time to prepare, because it's not nothing to go there. It's quite exciting, and it's quite an emotional step as well. So then from Saturday night, Saturday evening, people start moving towards a camp close to the mine. Some people go to the camp, some people stay in Bonn. We'll figure out who's doing what. So that in the end, everybody will be at the mine site on Sunday morning. So some people go Saturday night, some people go Sunday morning. On Sunday, we'll do the action in the European's biggest coal mines. That's the Sunday plan. There are going to be possible ways to, there are going to be possibilities to join legally and disobediently. And afterwards, in the end of Sunday, we hope to gather everybody again at this place where I'm right now in Cologne, at the Autonomous Center, to have a big final party. And then on Monday morning, the bus leaves back to Sweden. I want to mention one thing which is quite important. It's a packing list. There's of course things you bring for your own needs and for winter, and it's generally not northern Sweden, but it's still quite cold and chilly. And there's 5 very important things we wrote down. It's a sleeping bag and mattress, it's a water bottle, it's warm and waterproof clothes, it's shoes, and it's snacks. If you bring these things, you're quite well prepared. I'm happy to answer more questions later, but this is a first overview of what will happen.
Great, thank you very much. And I'm also really glad you pointed out that, of course, civil disobedience is a big part of this, that we're going to be putting our bodies on the line for this. But there's so many reasons that people might not be able to do that or want to do something else. And this is an inclusive action. There will be a legal group to join, to take a legal demonstration. And there's always support that needs to be had throughout this. So even if you're not sure if you're ready to take that push, or if you haven't had all the legal information yet, please join anyway, because this is a movement that everybody can be a part of on their own terms. And it's important for ourselves to articulate our own engagement. But first, we need to get down there. So, Emily, how's that happening?
Yeah, first of all, I will say that this bus, like Carl mentioned, we are doing all this together. So if we want to go down to Ende Gelände, which we want, we need to have more people going down by the bus, and we need people to crowdfund for us, because we are going with a bus called Rättbuss, who is our friends and allies, and they gladly want to help us to going down to this Ende Gelände action. But we will leave on November the 2nd. It's a Thursday, and we will leave from Stockholm around 16. And then we'll go to Helsingborg in the south of Sweden. And then we will be around 23 in the evening. And then the bus will go down through Denmark and down to Germany. And we will get to Bonn around 13 on Friday. So in time for doing the action training, which Johannes mentioned. And then we will be on the action trainings, and we will be in the action, and we will go home early on Monday. We don't know exactly which time yet, but early on Monday. And then we will go home the same way and stop in Helsingborg and in Stockholm. And we will be home in Stockholm around 6 or 8 in the morning, the 7th. So we will go on Thursday, and we'll be home around Tuesday morning or so. And the ticket, it cost 1,300 Swedish crowns. And if you have the possibility to pay more, we're glad to if you do so. And right now we have like the half of the bus is booked, so it's really nice for us to see. So we hope that many people of you who watch now will like go to the site and book. You can find it on Ende Gelände Sweden Facebook page and some other sites where you can find the link where you can sign up for the bus. And the last day to sign up for the bus is the 26th of October, and that's because we need to know if the bus will be full. And the last day to pay is the 1st of November. So if you have like any question, just ask them here in the video, or you can send an email to us on endegeländesweden@riseup.net, and there you can ask if you have some more specific questions. But it's going to be great. So tell your friends and tell your family and just spread the word, because we need more people going by the bus. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. So what you're saying is that since it's leaving Thursday evening and you should be back Tuesday morning, you would only miss 2 days of work or studies, right?
Exactly. So it's nothing. And a lot of people also have like autumn, spring going, who is like in the school. So that's great.
It's made for a long weekend in Germany. It's what all the fashionable activists are doing, really.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Emily. And about the crowdfunding, we're going to be putting up links to that coming up in the next coming days. And we really need your support for this to make this all happen. And if you'd like to be involved in supporting this, we need help with crowdfunding, with press. And if there's any way you'd like to lend a little bit of your time, right after this webinar at 8:30, we're starting our next planning meeting. There's no rest for the wicked, and we'd love for you to join. There'll be a link up on the Facebook event page for this, the webinar for climate justice on the Ende Gelände Sweden Facebook page, and you can join in. And we'd love your support, your ideas, your feedback. Be a part of this organizing process, because this is just self-organized. Speaking of self-organization, once we're into action, we're also taking decisions collectively, and we're taking care of each other throughout all this. And Julia, how do we go about learning more and do this?
Yes, so you can never be too prepared for this sort of action, or to go down to Germany for Ende Gelände. So we will organize. We already had a training in Uppsala last weekend, but there are two more trainings coming up in Sweden, and the first one is then in Malmö on Sunday at Kontrapunkt. So it's the 22nd Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's in Malmö, sorry, yeah.
Yes, it's in Malmö. And then there will be one at the 23rd in Stockholm, and there will be a workshop to prepare yourself for the action, and the location will be announced shortly, but it will be at 5 o'clock in the evening. So those are the action trainings here in Sweden for the moment, but as Johanna said, there will be trainings in Germany as well. And we recommend everyone to go to one of these trainings to, just if you feel unsure, or if you have done this 100 times, you should always go to training, because it's fun. And you can always learn more. And yes, also to be safe during this action, we recommend you to go together as a small group, because these actions will be there will be big groups leaving the camp, going into the mine, and those big groups, they called fingers, and in each finger there will be a lot of affinity groups, smaller groups. In Swedish you can call it vängrupp, friend group, and we have a checklist on how to get together, what you will think about when creating a affinity group, which we have posted in the Facebook event. Affinity group is about 6 people, 4 to 6 people, and you should also have a buddy. This buddy friend is your safety net. You will keep an eye on each other and take care of each other, and also talk about fears and why you're doing this, and what are we going to do if this situation comes up, and how far are we willing to go in this action, just for you to be like prepared and have thought everything through, so you won't change your mind about anything, or afterwards. Yes, I think that's it.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Julia. And like I say, I was at the training here in Uppsala just on Sunday, and it was really great. We have 15 people. People are super excited, and they're all choosing different ways of how comfortable and how far they're willing to go. And I think that's really important that we start having those conversations and building those affinity groups. But if you don't know anybody, or you haven't time to go to training, I'm sure there'll be people on the bus willing to support you and guide you in that process as well. And so like I said, this is a
Can I just, Carl, sorry. Can I also tell you about this, the action agreement, which is a quite important point in this sort of action. Ende Gelände will have an action agreement, and this is for everyone to also feel safe. Like, we know what we are getting into, and like, it's guidelines on how you will behave during this action. So there won't be anyone throwing rocks on police, or there won't be anyone vandalizing property and stuff like that. So you know what you are getting yourself into. This is also a way to, like, stand up for what you do in a safer way. So now continue, Carl.
No, thank you. That's an excellent point. That's really important to remember, that, we are part of this, and you have to, be comfortable in joining the action that you feel you can stand behind and represent. And the action agreement is a huge part of that. So thank you for bringing it up. So yeah, we are all here as individuals that are trying to mobilize and be a part of this. So before we finish here for today, I'd just like to check in with all our participants here and ask you guys a quick question. Why are you going to Ende Gelände this year? Emily, do you want to start us off?
All right, I get the first question. Nice. Well, I've been to Ende Gelände last year and this year, and of course I want to go because the fossil fuels, and it's a crisis, and it needs to be done urgent. But when I have thought about this, I often go to demonstrations and to compare that to Ende Gelände. When you are in Ende Gelände, you get a concrete feeling that you actually do something. You can see the smoke from the coal industry just getting lesser and lesser. So it's a really fantastic feeling, and also that you have thousands of other activists all around the world, and you're doing this for the climate. So it's a really good feeling inside, actually, when you do it. So it's I just love it, and I always come home with a lot of energy. So it's really nice, and I'm looking forward to this a lot.
Great, thank you, Emily. Johannes, why are you joining?
In my mind, there's always this idea of a good life for everybody, and for this, I think fossil fuels are a big hindering, or they're stopping many people from good life, because they're destroying livelihoods of people, and they're destroying futures of people, and so politically, I like to engage against fossil fuels, and even though it's a political struggle, I still do it enjoying it, because I do it with, if I do it in Ende Gelände, I do it with a lot of people I know and I like, and do it in a frame, as you said earlier, which is very caretaking, and where I can feel well in this frame, and so yeah, it always gives me a good feeling to do it. Yeah.
Great, thank you very much. What about you, Julia?
Yes, we know everything. Like, we know how dangerous the fossil fuels are, and we know what we are about to do to the planet, or are what is right now happening on our planet because of how we have used fossil fuels in the past. And there are no excuses anymore. And as you know, like, you can't just sit at home anymore. You have to. I have to do something. So this will be my 4th Ende Gelände, and like the past 2, I have been doing media. I will not be doing media this year because I have been being stayed in the camp and talked to journalists, and yeah, it's really important work, but I miss all the fun. So this year I'm doing something fun.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I hope you have a great time as well. And to that point as well, we are working with press and trying to get those stories out there. And as you hear, the press spokesperson spot is open. We could love to have more people join in and work with that. I think for me, Ende Gelände as well, this is also my 4th time. And for me, activism, like a couple of years ago, if you asked me, activism was something that other people did. It was specially trained people, you know, these damn hippies. It wasn't what I could be a part of, and it wasn't what regular people did, until I met the first person who told me about Ende Gelände. And going there and being surrounded by that sort of community where everybody doesn't feel like they are specially trained or extraordinary, but they know they have to do something. They're sick of watching TV and seeing disaster after disaster and politicians just talking, but they're ready to put their bodies on the line for it. That is so empowering, and that is such a great feeling that I'm going again, and I'll be going as many times as I possibly can in any way I can to help. And this mobilization doesn't happen by some people here on this side of the webcam talking. It's about self-organizing from Sweden, all us together going down. So if you're watching this, you know, you're one of the good ones. You're one of the good people that want to make a difference. So please join in. Feel free to join into the mobilization. Help us out. Have any ideas, please share them. And most importantly, join the movement. That's what it's all about. So thank you very much for watching here tonight, and stay tuned to Ende Gelände Sweden on Facebook for the latest updates and how you can get involved. Hope you have a great night. Bye, everyone.